Good evening, good morning, good afternoon, etc. As we often say, wherever you are watching around the world, welcome back to the stream. Overwatch League Playoffs 2022 continues here with day number 4, which means we are 4 days closer to having a conclusion, to having a champion at the end of it all. I'm Achilles here once more alongside Avril. We'll be kicking off the day for you. And once more, we're going to be sending some teams home. Gladiators versus the Shock, two teams that have been at the top of the standings in NA the whole season throughout, now do battle once again in the lower bracket, as Zoe was saying, for the first time since 2019, to see who stays alive and whose season ends.
Yeah, it's been a crazy lower bracket run so far in the 2022 off-season, post-season, I should say, for the playoffs. Off-season comes a little bit after this. We still have the grand finals to get through. That comes very soon, a couple days as well. We're nearly at the LAN portion. We're nearly in the Anaheim Convention Center where the doors open. The fans get to come in and enjoy some Overwatch League action for the end of the 2022 season. And yeah, look, two of our best teams, literally Seed 2 versus Seed 3. San Francisco Shock, Seed number 2. LA Gladiators, Seed number 3. LA Gladiators themselves, probably the most successful team so far this season in terms of actual titles, kickoff clash, mid-season madness, where, by the way, they faced up against the San Francisco Shock twice, lost one time, and then beat them in that finals. A legendary finals, Achilles, that we were part of, a 4-2 victory with one of the craziest finishes ever as well. But funny enough, that win in the mid-season madness was actually the only time that the Gladiators actually beat Shock this year across their 4 matches.
They have faced off plenty of times, but like you say, Shock have had the upper hand. We'll see if that trend continues here now. Let's not waste any more time. Let's go ahead and get these players out on stage, starting with the LA Gladiators. We'll go ahead and watch them take their seats as they get ready to try to take down the fellow Titans of North America in the Shock.
And now we have all our role stars revealed as well. Today, the DPS players, the damage players on there. I think maybe the least surprising of which we have had some extremely good players this year. And there was a few DPS players I felt were definitely the cut above, so I'm not surprised that those are the players that got it. Kev's still one of them, obviously. Shu, a role star for support. And also, you have MVP candidates on this team as well. Reiner, by the way, role star for tanks. I mean, you have a star-studded lineup here, which is why it's so surprising that Gladiators ended up dropping into the lower bracket straight away. But they've been making a run. At least they're starting to make a run. They beat Philly Fusion yesterday 3-1. Shock, however, are going to be a way tougher opponent.
That they certainly are. I mean, especially given the scenes that we saw just yesterday. They played a pretty close bout versus the Shanghai Dragons, but they were able to best them. Let's see if they're up to test to take down the Gladiators once more here. Now in a tournament setting, we'll go ahead and bring them out on stage. It is the San Francisco Shock. Now the question, as it has been across the last few days, is who is going to be starting in that tank role, because we have had Mikey coming out.
There he is.
And I see Mikey once more.
Yep. And as we've also revealed in terms of DPS role stars, Proper right on the top of that list. That one was definitely the least surprising. Say what you will about anything regarding Rookie of the Year or MVP, but you cannot take away that he has been a force in nature on this team. Very deserving of the DPS role star. Mikey starting out, he actually won his map yesterday versus the Shanghai Dragons, despite losing that opening map when he played on day 2 versus the Houston Outlaws, right? So Mikey actually had a really good showing yesterday. Quite impressed by both what the tanks did on the San Francisco Shock side. And they also had the Kilo substitution, so look out for that. Maybe map number 3, we go to specific escort maps. Definitely the Circuit Royale, possibly the Junker Town. But for now, Striker on the Reaper, that's going to be important.
That it certainly is. Keep our eyes trained, but as you mentioned, Proper earning that role star just at the top of the show, the desk unveiling the list, and I gotta say, I hate you, production, for leaving Prophet to be the last one announced, because it was really messing with me. I thought for a second that he wasn't gonna get it, and I was gonna say, good God, how have we done this again? How has this man not got it? But he did, and so did Proper, and it's very well deserved. This guy has been instrumental. I mean, Lip yesterday was huge, but Proper stepped up to the plate and was able to match him in the end. You think about that final kill, sliding forward, rail shot from below into the melee execution. Proper, he plays without fear and with the utmost confidence.
And I mean, the kudos he gave afterwards as well on Twitter, he says to Lip, you know, you're the best Sojin player. To beat him, to kill him in that way, to finish off that series, knock out the Shanghai Dragons in Lip season as well. And then for Proper to also given the props on that. I felt like that was a nice moment of sportsmanship as San Francisco Shock now will look to take down another opponent if they can. The most successful franchise in history, given the 2020 and 2019 championship victories versus so far 2022's most successful team in the LA Gladiators. It will be Oasis as our first pick. I'm ready.
As am I. Oasis to start things off. This is, of course, the Shock's pick, as they do come in as the higher seed overall, are the home team. We'll see how they fare, whether or not they're going to be able to get that control locked down, because we haven't seen a lot of teams with their control maps end up losing them. We can expect at this point as well that both teams are going to be incredibly familiar with each other's play styles on every single map. Given the meta, how I'd say fleshed out things have been looking, there's still room for some development. Obviously, we're fairly early into this, so maybe by the time we get to that grand final, we will see a little bit more ingenuity. But I think that widely, they're going to be incredibly familiar with each other, so this should be a very close set.
It's 4 control maps so far that the San Francisco Shock have played. This is the 4th one, and all 4 have been different. We've now played Ilios, we've played Busan, we've played Legion Tower. This is Oasis, obviously. We talk about the fact that the last meeting of these teams were week 16, 3-1 victory for the Shock, right? So 3-1 in total record as well for Shock versus Gladiators this season. And in terms of the other meme as well, there's the meme that Shock, they don't win control maps. They have won a single one. They did take the Legion Tower versus Shanghai Dragons, but not the 2 versus the Houston Outlaws. So let's see if they can get Oasis today. Or the LA Gladiators going to start off 1-0. Striker on the Reaper, Proper on the Sojourn, Happy on the Sojourn as well. I think we're happy to see that.
We certainly are. Immediate move over to the high ground there from the Shock. Proper's going to be actually leading them all the way down into the close quarters combat, where Kempster's holding the door. Just have to get forced back here for a brief little moment. Mikey playing up at the choke. Going to be tagged down to about half HP so far. The damage. They're seeking it from the side of the Shock to try to answer back. Happy not going to get clipped by the rail. Proper taking the first shot. Let's see if he's going to be able to nail the follow-up. Funny Astro. Tag low, just riding the wall for now. And Happy makes his exit. Shock going to be occupying the point widely, shoving the Gladiators back for a moment.
A lot of damage being done here, both on tanks chucking that aggro. Support's about to get ultimate spited, and Funny Astro. If this goes to a stalemate, and Walker first ultimate, but Proper breaks it. The deadlock is gone, Happy's down.
Manages to find it, and immediately Gladiators look to sound the retreat call, but Shu does still end up falling. Striker going to be traded. Kempster able to find that one, and the point still is not locked down. Sound barrier built up here by Funny Astro. Violet out of the fight. Kempster manages to find a follow-up kill. Does get a headshot there by Proper. The point now does get locked down. Shock able to gain control, but for a brief little moment there, off that beat commitment, it seemed like Gladiators were going to be able to turn the tide, but now they're without that ult.
Gladiators do come in quickly though. Finn popping that Tsuno rush super fast. Ryder has to prime it.
He does just to try to stay alive. Everybody pushing down into the pit. You can see he's just trying to hug back, get himself out of line of sight so he doesn't get headshot. Now goes diving back forward. Striker will find a little bit of revenge, taking down Kempster as Reiner leaps up into the back line, but there's just too much pressure. Striker turns his attention over towards the tank. Reiner falls and Shock will hold.
Because Kempster goes down as well, Shu holds on to his ultimate. You see that for the Shock, only Finn used an ultimate. The other 4 members ended up holding on. Reiner low HP. Susan was there from Shu, but he did not want to commit. No swim step. Funny Ash on the back lines as well. Didn't want to go in. Striker now has kills, and the Death Blossom is good.
Yep, just a straight up TP into the back lines. Finds 2. Proper gets Kempster to boot, so 3 quick kills. Reiner, Funny Ash are the only ones left standing, and Shock now above 50% lockdown. Still hold 3.
Another very economical fight for the San Francisco Shock. LA Gladiators to really bounce back in a big way. They've had some few skirmish wins. This is Mikey jumping in, got Proper punished.
Oh, instantly though. 2 quick kills coming through. Now third is Finn will fall. Mikey wisely just holds onto the Primal Rage. There is no turning that one around. The flip is there off the back of the Kitsune Rush. Gladiators as well with a nice little economic fight.
I think that's the first defensive Kitsune Rush I'm really seeing as well, where the Gladiators themselves, they're on the back foot, the Shock jump in, Shu says, I'm going to rip this ultimate in. The Gladiators turn the fight around, instead of killing Proper. Now it's Happy's turn.
Shots flying across, it's the one shot there on a Proper, can't get the execution. Now the beat comes in from Violet to try to escort them forward here onto the point. Funny Astro going to be holding one of his own, but still
good ultimate.
Keeps it in the back pocket. Now goes ahead, drops it down. That blossom into the back line. Kempster manages to find Finn. Mikey going to be eliminated as well. 2 quick picks, Glads holding firmly. 35% now on the board for them. They're halfway there to tie.
Super important frags coming through from Kevster. If Finn doesn't go down, use the Kitsune rush, and then Shock have their entry. Sound barriers are gone, defensive ultimates are not there. San Francisco Shock have to wait one extra fight for it, but they will use it now. Finn should have the opening. There it is.
They're coming down, everybody from the Gladiators just pulling back away, trying to avoid the rush. Shu nearly has one of his own. 1% left to go. The flip is there, though. Shock back in control. Still 20% shy now. Are the Gladiators from even tying this one up? And now Striker finds Reiner. Takes him down proper with the overclock. Gets one, looks for a little bit more, slides over to the side. Shock's going to be a little bit whiffy from here on out, but the damage is still widely done. Funny Astro tagged down. Looks like he's not going to be able to exit. Striker gets that elimination. And Shu in a bad spot. Narrowly stays alive thanks to the help from Reiner's bubble. 5% now left to go. TP, and he's not going to be able to make it. He was going to have to be the one to touch. Looks like Happy barely manages to slide forward. Does force out the OT. Right now, moving down, drops it onto the point. The rest of the Shock, they're looking to cut off the reinforcements here for the Glads. Funny Astro take it low, but there's the stop. Reiner will find one, but the turnaround is just looking too damn good for the Shock. 2 more kills coming through. Reiner and Kevster, all that is left to try to fight back. And now it is just the aforementioned Reaper who can't even touch the point. So 164% Shock will take University for themselves.
And all of that comes down to the fact that in the second to last fight there, Reiner jumps in here, the Primal uses it, Shu burns the Kitsune rush afterwards, but there's no opportunity for them to actually save Reiner. He's so deep in enemy territory, he dies 4v5. You need the Winston in that Kitsune rush ultimate if you can. For the San Francisco Shock, 5 versus 4, that's too easy for them. They'll take that fight. They already had the flip earlier, by the way, which they got with Finn's ultimate. So Finn drops it in there, glides back on up, they want to disengage, and it's enough. So we can sort of take a look at this fight again. They go on M, it's Reiner that will be the first one down, Striker on the back end as well. Shu's waiting for his ultimate. By the time that comes through, what's Reiner's HP? It's gone.
All right, well, looking to answer back and take this into a 3rd round. Garden needs to be the staging ground here for the Gladiators to make that happen. Come up here off the high ground, Reiner. That would be matched. Mikey comes diving in. Looks quite low. The rest of the team piling up the staircase, and yeah, down to 96. Has to retreat, has to grab that mega pack, but the rest of the team is left tankless. The cleanup is just all too easy for the Shock. Violet finding 2 is they will once again get the initial lockdown at this point.
Yeah, and Reiner's not even the target down, right? He gets away, Proper doesn't rail him. In fact, he wants to go for Happy instead. Finds that frag, puts Happy down behind. Look at the ult charge difference, Proper 47 now. Happy on 27. As the supports the Shock as well will be slightly further ahead. So, Gladiators in the next neutral. Happy's turn to find that opening frag, get that first blood for his team.
Drop the shot to try to prevent anybody from falling up the staircase. Happy now dropping down here on the low ground. Gets one out there. It's down to about half HP, but the heals start coming through. Violet again having the advantage towards that beat build-up. Really has it online. 6% for Funny after 68. Shoot down to a sliver. Reiner going to be picked off once more. Striker gets on top of him continuously to find these kills. Now turns his sights over to Shu. It's a pretty easy pickup. The damage was widely already dealt for him. Well, Funny Astro will find one. That's about as good as it's going to get here for the side of the Glads. Happy has to reset.
I mean, Striker just floats around any target he likes. No ultimates burned there by the Shock. Glads don't have an ultimate yet. They will have one soon. Happy on 99. But we're already looking at 60% on the cap itself. I mean, this is very delayed for the Glads. Slow ultimates across the board. And Shock have Snowball. Glads just need to wait for this sound barrier.
Oh, they're just pushing right up into them. And Happy, okay, will eventually fall. Finn's got to be the one to actually finish the job. I think Connor should have been able to have that a bit earlier, but with an A down, we'll get Shu. And I mean, it's just such a confident forward hold here from the Shock.
I mean, that's a net 0 ultimate trade as well, because both Finn and Shu use ultimates, so Shock actually don't lose anything there. In fact, they're still ahead. Reiner and Kipster are not far off, but we're into final fight territory. This could be 100-0. Glads desperately need to open up this fight and also touch the point.
That they do. I mean, Reiner does have the primal. He can make his way over there, but not if the team is going to get picked apart.
Astro's going for it.
Out. They're making their way over. Astro does have the touch. It's going to be a near flip coming through now. So they start building up towards it. It seems like Shock is not going to arrive in time to actually keep this contested, so they will surrender it. They're looking for some picks, trying to split the team apart a bit over towards the spawn, but that does not work out, so now they have to play retakes.
And they need frags as well, because they wanted to try, like you sort of mentioned, cut people off in spawn, but they didn't get those kills. Kipster and Happy both popped an ultimates. Reiner's in there as well, and it's Happy with the frag.
And Striker is shut down. He goes for a Death Blossom of his own. Happy immediately with the rail, manages to strike him down. Excellently done. Very much needed to maintain control of this.
I think the mistake there from the Shock.
Flip back over to the Glides, but yeah.
The mistake there from the Shock is they overchased because they went for Funny Astro. I think they can let Funny Astro go. It's clear that they were happy to allow the flip to go over. They could still win the fight 5 versus 4, but they don't end up catching anybody despite spending more ultimate there. So this is now the Shock giving away the cap. Proper still actually has the overclock, which is good, but we got the puppet here.
Astro in the corner, tag down. HP, but does survive. Happy as well, falling low. The second rail shot not going to connect off the other clock. The third one absolutely does. Looks for a little bit more.
Good
back
peel.
in the corner, the healing comes in. They keep him safe. Get fantastic peel here from the Shock. They know that Proper is their golden goose. They need to keep him safe, and he is just diving on top of heads. Puts himself straight in on top of Kempster, finds the elimination. Striker moving forward with the sound barrier shielding in, is safe as hell. Gets the kills coming through. And as they clear the point, Shock will go ahead, regain control, and get the win. A 2-0 victory for them on Oasis to start the series off 1-0.
And outside of that failed spawn camp that you see from the Shock on this last round of Gardens, it's almost a 100-0. It was very close to being a 100-0. They effectively had that 0-99 though.
Yeah.
That's a gigantic lead. I mean, what did I say? At 60% on the cap, not a single members of the Gladiators even had a single ultimate yet. Happy on 99. That's how far behind the Gladiators were on Gardens. A lot of improvement needs to happen here.
That it does. Control not going their way. Shock do manage to go ahead and pick up a win on their map. Choice on Control, which means that Gladiators will be moving forward into Hybrid with their own selection. Been seeing a hell of a lot of Kings Row. We'll see if that's going to be the case or if they want to change things up a little bit more, show us a bit more diversity in the map pool. We'll have to just wait and see what that pick is going to be and whether or not they're going to be able to tie up the series. So don't go anywhere, guys. The action continues between these two titanic teams from North America when we come back from the break.
The Overwatch League is brought to you by Upper Deck, the official trading card of the Overwatch League. And by TeamSpeak, the official voice supplier of the Overwatch League.
said lightning doesn't strike twice has never met the San Francisco Shock.
Just the depth of talent on their roster that can't be denied.
Some of the most hardcore carry performances that I've ever seen.
This is going to be a wild ride.
Somehow Violet's going to come to the rescue, get a double kill. Kalush says, how about that one, Chief? See you later.
Kill. Dude, his aim is so crispy.
Finn doesn't miss those. Holy cow.
A stick on Hardy. Striker's able to bring the Titan down.
Sam straight to the backline, insta-killing. Oh, Mikey!
San Francisco, the greatest team in Overwatch.
And welcome back. One map out of the way. Plenty more to come as Striker, instrumental in Shock finding success in our first map of Oasis. Big numbers being put up here on the Reaper.
And I got to specifically zoom in on one of these numbers. It's the final blows on 12. Why is that significant? Because Striker was one away from tying up the total final blows of the entire LA Gladiators on that map. That's right, Striker had 12. The entire LA Gladiators combined with 5 players had 13 final blows. Striker nearly hit as many players, he's gotten nearly as many players as all of the entirety of the enemy team. I think that's crazy. I think it's a wild stat line. Striker did a lot of work, and one of the good moments we saw from Striker was the fact that, you know, not even using an ult, but just in the neutral play on Gardens, wraithing around, floating around, walking around the point, zero pressure, shooting down anybody he likes, collecting those frags, unimpeded.
There he was, and he needs to be impeded if they want to have success. So I'm looking for it, Glads. Show me the... No, I won't say that. That could be misconstrued. Anyway, let's take a look at our substitution.
Show me the substitution.
It's Kalush coming in from Mikey.
Show me the Kalush.
I mean, people are going to be so confused, but I really don't even want to say it because it might just, you know.
That's okay.
Oh, I like my job.
You
Anyway,
can DM it to me later. I keep secrets well.
And I'll tweet it. Anyway, Kalush is going to be stepping in. This is the adjustment that we have been seeing throughout this tournament. The first time that they did it, Mikey came in, everyone was like, oh my god, I can't believe it. And it didn't really work, but then he had some vindication, and he gets it further with this other map when on control. So it seems like he is basically going to be coming in as the control specialist, whereas Kalush gets to ride out the rest of the set.
Kalush said as much. If anyone saw the interview, the post-match interview from yesterday, I believe, when Shock actually beat the Dragons, Danny asked Kalush, what's the deal with the Mikey substitutions? And he basically said outright, look, it's a playstyle thing. Mikey's better on control maps. He has that kind of like tempo down bat, and it's just a different type of playstyle, especially on the Winston, that the Shock as a team prefer. So Mikey at this stage, he's won 2 out of his 3 maps. Pretty good showing. I mean, I think Mikey deserves some respect for that. So as we move over to King's Road, we do know that Kalush comes in typically for the rest of the series. Still got that 3rd map, by the way. Watch out for the possibility of a Sigma. I'd like to see Kalush maybe look towards that again if we do go to very specific escort maps, but on King's Road should just be the standard here again, the same heroes that we've already seen. My goodness, the San Francisco Shock DPS plays in particular popping off right now.
Alrighty, well, they didn't show the map pool diversity that I was looking for. It's going to be King's Row once again. So I guess this is just the world that we live in. We get to cast this one. Again, it's a classic map, so I can never be that upset about going over to King's Row. And if it does give the Glads a tied-up series, which means that we get more maps played, then I guess it's a win-win for all of us.
We haven't done Paraíso, have we? I don't think it's the one map that we personally haven't done. Oh, we didn't. Oh, no, we did. Houston and Toronto went to Paraíso, that's right. But otherwise, we're looking towards mostly a lot of King's Rows, like Valdes. Gladiators 1-1 in tournaments versus Shock. It was the upper bracket game, and then the finals of the Mid-Season Madness. Still some of the best showings, some of the best Overwatch we've ever seen, and now the playoffs of 2022 trying to match that, maybe even overtake. The doors open, cops come on through, no surprises here. Proper getting up close to the Glads.
Already Grail built up, Happy sliding away right in the nick of time. Stays alive, but now Shock, just full contest here onto the point. Trying to keep this, or get this one for themselves. Funny Astro, however, gets on top of Robert, finds that kill. Kevster as well, finding Violent. The first volley, very much going to be shut down. Fantastic initial defense here from the Glads, not losing a member.
I think that's important for the Glads as well, because Shock are getting very confident now where they're pushing past. They just want to get towards the point, and Glads are saying, nope, you need an entry ticket here. Must be this tall to enter this right. The instant shutdown of proper, the cleanup of the rest of the squad. Glads are ahead now. This is where they want to be.
He has a decent amount of charge already. Been aware of that. Pulls back. Shot goes out. Proper again. Taken down. The alley-oop is set up. Heavy tosses the ball. Trying to get the dunk. Striker now. Well, has to make his exit. Violet will not be allowed to get out to safety. Huge forward push down from the Gladiators. They look locked to Shock inside of the spawn.
So it's because of the staggered skill there as well. Proper respawns. Violet goes down. Extra time loss. Gladiators looking towards ultimate. Shoot. Ahead of Finn, importantly. That will be the first ultimate online for either team. Funny Astro way ahead of Violet as well.
Proper needs to find some value here.
Oh, Happy again.
First blood's over on Oasis, but yeah, this time it's going to be Happy who once more strikes, finding Violet, further delaying that beat from coming in. He gets the follow-up shot as well. That's not even the overclock. Straight up builds an natural rail, gets him in the chest. It's enough to kill. Looks Striker will manage to TP out, but that's going to be half the time bank now taken away from the San Francisco Shock. We've been seeing so many quick caps, especially here on A, Avril, this whole playoff run throughout. It's really been B and C where the time banks have been drained down, but this is a great look for the Glads.
And another opening shot from Happy. This is like Lip and Eichenwalder all again. San Francisco Shock, they got PTSD. They've seen this trauma. They've felt it. Happy is sick of probably getting all the limelight of the Sojin. So now he's one getting all these strikes. It's 5 final blows, and I think like 3 first bloods in a row as well.
I mean, does this just mean, like, with Striker getting this treatment as well, being the first one to get taken down, that he's going to get subbed out after this map? Does he need a breather after Happy just rolls him? We'll have to just wait and see if that's going to be the case. Happy now pops the overclock. Violet still holds on to the sound barrier, has not committed it yet, and he's not going to get the opportunity because Kevster kills him off. Once more, the Shock are going to have to head for the hills, back over into the church, try to stay alive. Looks like a couple going to tuck away here into the movie theater. Luce still taking a beating, further allowing Happy to build up towards that next rail, but man, what a hold this is so far.
1 minute left. Proper's turn overclock now. Sound barrier's coming through. Violet gets to use his ult.
They're out from either side. Death Blossom.
Oh, shut down.
Still does get shut down. Yeah, huge pick there from Proper. Striker finding 3 with the Blossom of his own. The cleanup is finally there, and in one fell swoop, the Shock will be able to go ahead and get this cap at long last on point A. With 40 seconds remaining. Time bank still not going to be that great. Vlad's very well could bring this all the way down.
That one fight win where everyone went down for Glads, that was all of the Gladiators' first death. They hadn't died before that. Not a single frag. San Francisco Shock till that fight. Took nearly the entire time bank of A to do it. It will now be Finn looking at the Kitsune rush. Shu a little bit off. We'll have it in a short while. Reiner can hold them up for the time being, but Glads want to hold this archway, so they need this ultimate quick.
We're on our way.
That's TP. Didn't quite see where that one went. And now they're trying to get through the chokes. Rush comes out from Shu. Looks like they're looking to just hold their own, so they will just disengage and then use their own rush to try to break through this defense.
And I actually think Glad should have saved that one, so when Finn uses his ultimate, then Shu can respond. It's far too easy for the Shock to disengage here through the archway. Now Finn gets a free ult.
And the rush is in. Happy taken down. Get on top of him, and that is what I mean. Broken through. Yep.
It's so much easier for the
well
Shock to chase down Glad. I mean, you would have to have a situation where, you know, I can't remember which team did it, but they essentially baited out a speed boost first. And well, here the Shock just, they Kitsune rush through. The Gladiators have only one direction to run. It's not a chokeway. It's not like they're running through an archway. The San Francisco Shock will happily take that fight. Very economical as well.
Funny Astro staying alive somehow, some way.
Here's a Lucio.
Little Lucio there.
Yeah.
I mean, he was pinned in a corner.
They'll be put
get him funny corner, but Proper.
Yeah, Kevster
knows the dive is coming from Reiner, but he still stays in. Gets the headshot. Huge play from him. Reiner's going to be backing away. Juiced up with a primal. Keeps the card contested in the corner for now, but then Proper gets Happy.
Wow.
Yeah, another huge shot from him. Reiner now dead, and that might just be enough to go ahead and get the cap on B. It certainly looks like it, given how far back the Gladiators have to retreat.
That was like the saddest primal ever because he couldn't really go in. They were already a player down. Glads were confused about whether they're trying to hold space here. Are we playing for a 4v5? What's Ryan doing with the rest of his Primal? Not a lot, apparently. And Proper just finds a kill through it. Doesn't really matter. Funny Asher nearly dies on 98, but he'll survive for now. Solo HP.
Ryan tries to contest that high ground. You see just how much of a beating he is taking. Dive forward once more. Just keeps the cart locked into position. 2 minutes, 10 seconds to try to get through here with the Gladiators if they want to deny the finish on the map. Rail shot goes in. Shu's got the follow-up kunai. The Striker, as he falls now. No damage dealings here for the Shock.
Yeah.
Vlad's finally establishing some control, but that was their rush, and Finn's about to have one of his own.
Trap laid bare and sprung. Gladiators will finally catch the prey in the Shock. As Finn, like you mentioned, didn't quite have his Kitsune rush. He'll have it now. Violet doesn't want to pop the sound barrier either. And Rhino cuts off a bunch of players with a bubble, but it's Proper that goes down to Happy.
Yeah, now Finn is taken out. Not that I think he wanted to commit the rush to this fight, given that they lost out on one of their biggest damage dealers anyway, but it's very nicely done here by the Glads.
Yeah, that's what you want. Shu ults, Happy ults. 1 win per 1 ult. 2 fights in a row now. The Shock have not really had a chance to use ultimates. They're sitting on 5 with a lot of time burn. 5 is good, but they need to start pushing the payload. The payload distance is very poor.
They haven't been able to get too much here. Kevster moving forward. Sound barrier in response to that Blossom. Kevster now stuck into the corner, goes into the Wraith Walk with 23 HP remaining. They try to heal him up, but it's going to be Shu who ends up getting taken down, and they get the Reaper in the end. 3 quick kills, both supports now gone. Shock can finally start pushing his cart forward, but it's only with 50 seconds remaining.
And that's the thing, right? Because look at where the payload is now. They still have at least 1 more fight, if not 2, depending on how the respawners go. The Shock are also pushing away from their own respawn as well, which means it'll take a while to reinforce. They can't really afford to lose members here. Still have 3 with ultimates, double supports, ultimates burned. Shu's got to live here. Shu's nearly on an ult. Oh, he's dead.
He's trying to get himself around into a flank position. Is Proper. Lines up both supports. Then as Blossom takes down Reiner, and yeah, it wasn't even really a single fight to try to keep this contest going through. The DPS ultimates were just too damn good. And crucially, Shock will finish the map with time in the bank. It's only 22 seconds, but that does stop a draw situation for them.
Wow, that was kind of unfortunate for the Gladiators. Ryan had Primal. Shu was very, very close towards the Kitsune rush. He was on, what, 98 when he dies? But Proper rails both. He gets the double supports here, and he gets them in the right order as well, because if you kill Funny Asher, Shu lives. Maybe Shu still gets the ultimate. There's a potential for a turnaround there. Rhino gets to swing his helicopter arms inside the Primal within the Kitsune rush as well. Very holdable defense there. You know, during the Primal, Funny Asher's got to be able to respawn. So San Francisco Shock, if they don't specifically get Shu and Funny Asher down, I think that's a very different fight. And they get time as well. You mentioned how important that time is, because if there's any ultimates burned by the Gladiators and they hold for a little bit, it would be an OT cap, not a 22-second cap.
Yeah. Excellently done.
Clutch from Finn.
Look back at Finn's POV. Yep. Keeping everybody alive. Then there's the rush. It's able to storm around the corner. Quick kills, Shu. Just no chance in this game.
The second Suzu's well found in the Kitsune rush. I mean, that's the cooldown reduction, right? You just kind of get to spam those abilities. But the first one coming down right as Kevster drops in for the Death Blossom. That actually buys time for Violet to use a sound barrier as well, whereas typically it'd be hard for Lucio to drop a sound barrier in the middle. But Death Blossom there, they have the safety, Violet has the confidence, it's good enough. Kevster, no dice on the opening Widow shot, back over towards the Reaper. We're hoping to get a really nice Kevster Death Blossom as well, because so far a lot of his Death Blossoms have not found value. Either he's been shut down, or Finn sort of blocked it, or Violet's blocked it, or somebody has done something to make sure that Kevster doesn't get kills.
Shots on flying Shock, not holding nearly as far forward as we saw from the Glads. They do have a lot of space now that they can take, which widely does occupy the point. Shock continue to play around the hotel. Swing around, get themselves statue side now. Happy just tries to track a target, but the ticks are coming through, and the Shock defense absolutely crumbles.
Yep.
No legs to stand on here.
They all had to run towards Elderworth Hotel, no positioning there. They lost complete control at that point. Happy is pleased about where he gets to shoot. Proper taking down, headshot from Shu, and this continues, by the way. They want him down twice in a row, they'll get him.
Oh.
Got his man. On the other one as well in Striker. And this is where Glads can really make up some ground.
I mean, honestly, hey, just keep playing this position. Leave Funny Asher on the cart, why not? If things start going dire, he could join in rather quickly.
Right, Reiner's actually pushing too.
It's actually it's Reiner and Kevster who are both on the card.
They're holding hands.
Go with Happy. They say, yeah, we have to keep Happy alive at all costs.
All right, well, all five will now back in together.
For him.
Shu has ult here, by the way. We're finished, still 26 off. So, I mean, Glads can absolutely still snowball this one. And they don't even have to commit it yet. They can wait until they reach the final quarter, then commit it on the final straight and cap off that ultimate. Unless Shock put up a really good resistance, then Shu will just do it now.
Proper not finding anything with that rail. Reiner dives into the back line. The Kitsune rush comes in. Finn now does have his online, but Violet's going to use his ult first. The sound area comes in. Funny Astro does have the second beat. Finn commits the rush as well as they look for some targets, they look for some kills, but Violet going to be stomped down. Reiner finding the elimination. Kaluj goes down to a sliver of HP, pops the primal, keeps himself alive. Proper with the overclock, manages to find one, but Happy shuts it down. No further kills to be found here by the enemy Sojourn, and then Cart is still pushing forward for the Glads.
Happy holds on to ultimate as well. Gladiator's waiting for respawners here. Kalu's low HP. He's got to be careful. Striker goes in.
Oh. Finds his moment. Gets on top of Funny Astro, finds a singular pick, but for now that will leave the card abandoned. Shock barely scraped by with an overall win. Everything had to be invested, however.
Yeah, I mean, and the Striker really needed a frag there as well, because otherwise you have Reiner going in, Kaluj maybe dropping down there as well, Happy cleaning up the rest of the Shock. Would have resulted in a cap. This will still be a hard fight, though. It's Happy looking for targets.
Astro. Okay, just gets zapped to death. Who's able to find the pick, and once again, Glad's going to have to wait, go for a reset. Violet now can try to catch up, try to match beat for beat. Then again, Miner steal of the card for just a brief little moment there. Get a little bit of extra distance gained up as we're just battling down into the tube, I suppose. Bloody brawl so far going to be a 2-for-2 with Kaluj falling, however. That gives the upper hand
2v2
to the Gladiators, but only for a brief little moment. Yeah, it is a 2v2. Happy being alive, however, is massive for the Glads. They will continue to gain a bit of distance, and at this range, there's not much the Striker can do. They need to get some reinforcements here.
They have to go for this as well. Violet Striker versus Happy Funny Astro with teammates coming in. Shock have the closer respawns. They've arrived now. Proper's here. And they won't be able to hold this a little bit longer. This is taking Glads a long time to capture B. They got A quickly, but B has been problematic. Violet has ultimate now. Funny Astro catching up.
It is, but the time bank still is not that bad for them. 2-4, if they can get that minute and a half bump up, it's going to be looking good, but Proper finds the headshot. Happy going to be taken down. Striker just chipping away at Kevster. The Death Blossoms nearly online for both of these Reapers. With Happy out of the fray, they're actually still going to commit to this one. Shu pulls the trigger, sends out the rush. Finn matches, however, and Reiner takes way too much damage, so they just have to back away.
That's a complete waste for Gladiators. They did not have Happy there. They know that the back up, and you could see the instant regret. It's like, we pop ultimate, Finn responds to the zone Kitsune rush, and nothing happens. So both teams will trade 1-for-1 there, but Glad lose more time.
And then Striker gets into the back line. Kevster does get the punish there, but the trade up is huge. Shock fighting too. Proper pushing forward, looking for a bit more. Sends out the disruptor shot. See Shoot juggling the corner for just a little moment there. Unable to find the punish, but now the card's going to be gliding back.
And there's still more delay, by the way, because you have Sound Barrier and the Primal from Kaluj and Violet. So they can buy time for teammates to maybe respawn back in. The respawn distance is shorter here. They're trying to go for Proper, and they got him.
Oh, Proper eyes trained on Happy, wisely so, but then Kevster comes in off the flank for the Death Blossom, finds that kill. Beat can be dropped in by Funny Astro.
Holding.
Violet still holding. Kaluj chipped away at. Now the beat does come in. That saves Striker's life. You see how low he was. Overclock from Happy, looking for some value. A couple headshots in. Kalu's going to be taken down. They seek a little bit more just to finish this push. And with those 2 eliminations, that ought to be enough. Not going to be seeing any turnarounds, especially now that the supports are out of the fray. Proper will be the last one to get taken down. They finally break through. It's 2 minutes 40 now for the final stretch for the Glads.
Good read and good assault from the Glads as well. They jump on top of Proper. Like you said, he was focused on Happy. And we didn't really get to see the trademark peel for Proper here from the Shock either. I mean, there was no boot from Violet, did not see the Suzu from Finn. I don't know if that was a cooldown or not. The ultimates were there as well, the Sound Barrier, but I don't think they could react in time to save Proper, so he goes down to 5v4, and Glads finally makes some distance happen. Shu getting ready to ult here.
Proper sliding around the back, finds Happy. He was going to be dead either way, but he makes it look stylish. Good initial kill. Still need a bit more if they want to get this rolling. Reiner diving into the back. He juggles him away from the support. Then he gets the punish.
Well played.
Huge play from Reiner to try to turn the tides here. Finally, the Glads still very much split up. You can see them completely split. Kevin's on the high ground. Funny Astro was playing off that left side. Counter dive in now from Kaluj. Puts himself in the front
They
line.
can't find anyone.
Just have to back away.
Oh my god, and
Yeah,
Reiner,
everyone just ran
he's
from
playing
the
hide and seek. Reiner got away with that. He was just hiding on the high ground the entire way through. Shock could not chase. That was so well played by the Shock, and now an opening kill from Happy.
Huge headshot from him. Opens a fight. Violet can get back in here rather quickly, but Kevster's looking to push them across the finish line. The Death Blossom finds two. And now it's only Violet who's left alive. He can buy enough time for the team to join in. Striker might be able to clear the payload with this Blossom, but otherwise the Glads are looking to maybe even 3x the time bank. Push coming in, they get the boot, they push him away from the cart, the touch is there, Striker able to race his way forward, now the beat comes in from Funny Astro, Violet 9% away from having one of his own. Death Blossom comes up from Striker, but Happy shuts him down, 3 rail shots in a row, 3 kills as Violet drops the beat, but he is the only recipient, and Happy will nearly ace them to finish the map. It's going to be a 30-second advantage now for the Glads as we go into extra innings.
Such a great map so far from Happy. 20 final blows out of a total 50 from the Gladiators. And how many first bloods? I mean, we go back to A. That first A-point hold from Gladiators that was so successful in burning down the timer. Multiple first bloods found. And here as well, he just gets the correct kills, finally gets them past B. We go into C. The final 4-piece from Happy to lock it in with a 30-second advantage. When you really think about that 30-second advantage, what does it mean? Because Gladiators capped out A very quickly. They had a fantastic defense on A and a fantastic offense on A. And that's the thing, right? Because now we're in time that we've got to talk about A. There is some silver lining there. You have to give credit for the Shock to the fact that they delayed B for so long that we bring it within 30 seconds. But I don't know that B is going to be much of a factor here. When you've only got 1 minute to work through and 1 minute 30 on the other side, it's all about the A-point, and Glads were better on both.
Take a look back here at Happy's little highlight reel. 4 kills at the very end of the map. Put them across the finish line, slides in.
Violet just didn't have ult.
Yeah.
I mean, he gets it now. It's
9% shy when he died, I do believe.
One-man beat, unfortunately, for Violet. And that's the thing, right? Because when Kaluj goes down, when they needed it, I think, you know, Kaluj was on about 100 HP. Violet was on about 90, maybe 91%. So he was just shy by like 10 or 9% from that ultimate. Had they managed to find the sound barrier earlier, that could have maybe been a different fight for the Shock. Bygones be bygones, though, and the opportunity here with 1 minute, a lot can still be done, but not if Violet dies like that.
The Violet is just getting absolutely beaten and battered at every twist and turn. The headshots, whether they're from Happy, from Shu, continues to be greeted with death. The cleanup comes in, and yeah, the further stagger. Striker dies. I was going to say he needs to not have that happen, but really it was out of his hands already.
Final attack.
25 seconds now remaining.
Last shot. No ultimates. The only silver lining for the Shock is there's no ultimates. Glads are ahead anyway. And because of the situation, even if Shock can cap, I mean, we're going to head towards a very early B defense, and that's if Shock can cap at all. Their current goal is to just get a tick. If they can get 1 tick, at least they don't have to play for a draw.
Robert swinging around on his way through the hotel once again. The contest is there. Suzu going to be used by Shu. Rail shot, not going to connect. Happy. We look at him now. Gets tagged low, and he's just 60% away from an overclock. He can absolutely build that up in an extended fight if he can keep him alive. 9% now left. Collusion, half HP. Striker as well. Disrupting shot goes in proper. Desperately trying to find a kill, but it's Collusion Violet once again who can take it down. The overclock does get built in the end. He'll find a singular kill with it. And that is the hold on A in overtime. Shock now have to defend for a minute and 30, not surrender any progress whatsoever if they want to have this result in a draw.
Which, funny enough, actually works out for them, because then they're still 1-0 in the lead in the series, so that's probably an okay result for the Shock. But I mean, Glads, I think they can taste the victory. Like I said earlier, the A-point defense, the A-point attack, Glads were better on both. Here they completely shut down the Shock. We saw it from Proper's POV as well. He could not land the rail required. He's playing hard flank through the Alderworth Hotel front door. Just couldn't find the shot. Meanwhile, on the other side, Happy was getting the kills. Has the overclock, delivers the goods. LA Gladiators complete the hold. No percentage points given over, as you mentioned. The Shock here would have to have a great defense. We need to see them shut down some players from the Glads the way Happy has been doing to all the Shock so far on this map.
Hi. Hey there. Hi.
Well, now, Shock looking for the draw to stop the tie from coming through. Kevster once again, I think he's going to go for the Widow shot. And if he nails this one, it's done. The map is basically over. Just give Glads the 1-1. He's gonna go for a little delayed peek. Spots one for a brief moment. Shot goes over Kaluja's head. There's the swap. Reaper back into the action. Happy low with the rail. Ooh, it does hit Finn. In a dangerous spot, Kaluja as well desperately needs some healing. Kevster was able to get on top of that Winston. That likely would have been his demise, but funny, Astro fights proper. And it all comes tumbling down. The rest of the shock, nothing more to be done here. Kaluja sleeps into his death. The cap will be received. Gladiators tie things up 1-1 with their map pick of Kings Row. And what a look from this squad. Not often that we, sometimes the map picks have been getting a little bit wonky, but it seems like here it has worked out. It has worked a treat for the Gladiators. And now they keep everything tied up to give us an extended series. No 3-0s found here in this lower bracket matchup between the number 2 and number 3 seeds. We will at least get to push. So we will see just how far this rabbit hole goes. The Shock will have their map pick as we get ready to go into Escort. Curious to see where they want to take us to try to go ahead and regain a lead and take match point to themselves, because the pressure is certainly mounting, and I think that we are seeing that reflected in some of the play. Proper whiffing a lot of the shots. He needs to find his groove. He needs to find his stride like he did yesterday versus Limp if they want to walk away victorious, because right now Happy is playing like a man possessed. We'll see if the Shock can get it done and where they want to take us for Escort when we come back for the break. So don't go anywhere, guys. The action is continuing in just a few.
Has the Bob. Dallas Field, they're waiting. Oh, the last second.
Does get on it. The help is Sparkle. Oh, Edison's bomb! He fell off the map. That's not good. 1-0.
That's something we need to take a look at a little bit more as well, as Finn just changed Bob's trajectory.
Oh my God.
Goodbye.
I mean, that is a round-winning boot there by Finn.
Excelsior can go clap back with that rampage. Kellen has hit some pretty big ones in this series as well. But ooh, a takedown here, they might not even need it.
Oh, that rampage was huge. Crowley's gonna die to just the bleed. Oh, what a knife by Kellen. Okay.
60 seconds remaining there. Repeated fight with Stalker so low that B couldn't have come any later for Finn Dame to save him. Rips out the blade, doesn't have the healing, and MN3 shoots him out the sky, ending the blade early, pops the overclock to 5 Finn Dame, and again, MN3K for Philadelphia Fusion, get the team kill and keep this bot moving.
Now as the Ashes are online here, the payload is right there close to the finish line. You can see the Hunters skirmishing over to the side route. So much chaos, the rally gets put up, but Zerny's gonna sneak it down first. Everyone gets deleted by Leaf, and the rally was all for naught.
I don't even know how Leaf sees players through all that chaos there. He somehow perceives it through the matrix, just green lines of text coming down his screen.
And that's a rampage there. Happy gets hit by, but a sound barrier's timed well. Funny Astra and Happy able to get away, and Kempster's found the blade, killing Vigilante already. OG's a little bit too late with the beat. Again, Kempster now heads upstairs. He sees Kai on his own, and he can't even make it back to the health pack. It's a deflect elimination from Kempster on the Genji. It's all over. There is nothing left in the Atlanta Reign. Not even a whimper as they go down.
And we are back, tied up 1-1 in this lower bracket series, and the Gladiators are able to get a win on Kings Row. And you, of course, speaking of Gladiators, you can pick up their remix Legendary Lion skin, which is still available up until the 15th of November, so make sure you guys go ahead and pick that one up, especially if you're a big Glads fan. Post shields up and all that stuff in the chat. But, whoa, let's get ready to go into our escort map. This is going to be the Shock's pick, and I think that we can kind of guess where we're going. I mean, granted, Avril, you and I, we already know where we're going. We're gonna go to Circuit. They looked really, really damn good on it, and that's why you're seeing this guy on your screen right now. Space is gonna be stepping in for Reiner.
The last time we saw Space was the last week of Countdown Cup qualifiers, so, Space get a bit of game time this year. I think mainly it was, Kick-Off Clash. We saw him for a little bit. Played Circuit Royale. Scoot comes in to obviously play the Zenyatta as well. This is a large contingency of substitutions as, we haven't seen some of these guys for some time. It's been not the best, I think, meta overall this year for Space's hero pool. They've mainly relied on Reiner. This team has mostly played in Reiner's hero pool like a Doomfist for the majority, plus a lot of Winston. But then even Reiner on some of that Zarya. Kilo also comes in for Striker. We saw this yesterday. This is going to be a Sigma battle. This is going to be the battle of Sigma males here as well. Space, well known for his Sigma. Kaluj, extremely well known for his Sigma. But I also think for the LA Gladiators, they're not going to shy away from the challenge. Obviously, they want to match up onto it, but they have Shu and Skew, this legendary double flick support duo.
And that they do. Shock, though, on this map just yesterday, looking strong. It was a big turning point of the series, going up against the Shanghai Dragons. Saw them kind of barely make it towards the end of that map, and the attack was just so damn good from them. Kaluj, huge when it comes down to that Sigma. So while the subs are there to try to counteract it, got to question whether or not it's going to work here, just be given how strong Shock did look on this very map.
This was the one map in the Shanghai series that I think Shock truly dominated the Shanghai Dragons. That came after Lip had just taken the Shock to town on Eichenwalde. So the very fast turnaround from one map to the other, just a mental reset. Okay, we lost Eichenwalde, that's fine. Circuit's our map, we can win that one, and they did in stunning fashion. Now, I don't know if we could say that Glaz dominated the Shock the same way in Kings Row. It was a lot closer to the 4-3 scoreline, but Happy had his way. Very Lip-esque in the way that they destroyed the Shock, especially on that A point. And now Shock employing the same strategy. Take him back to Circuit. This is where we are strong.
Gladiators, they do get to study that tape, obviously, watching, kind of anticipating that they were going to be playing against the San Francisco Shock. Obviously, their eyes were trained on that series yesterday once they had gotten done, once they'd gotten through. Now, see if they've studied enough to be able to shut down the Shock on this map. I'm happy on Widowmaker. Something that warms my heart. I haven't gotten to cast this guy on Widow, and I don't know how long.
What, is this a Guangzhou charge or something?
Probably.
I gotta say one thing though. Last year, I think Glads were the best team at this comp. Double flex support, Sigma. Back then there was Orisa as well, double shield. Sort of bunker, spam composition. Having skewed in the lineup last year in 2021 is what allowed them to be able to play this across the board. I mean, we had the infamous Shyvana moments. He's basically #1 on BAP statistics this year across the board. We're playing the BAP today versus Violet. Historically, another fantastic BAP player, except that time versus Kai. You know the one I'm talking about, but we don't need to talk about it any further. It's San Francisco Shock. Still great on this map.
All right. Barriers up, obviously. This wasn't really the case for Proper yesterday, given that just saw the Winston very much kind of ham-fisted through. So now he's got to play against an enemy Sigma, and okay, well he does.
Big kill.
Barrier goes down, and Space takes an insane amount of damage. Amplified there, of course, you would expect by Finn with the Discord Orb, and that's the first kill, and that's the breakthrough.
See what else Proper can do. This would be a legendary shot.
He's got him. He's reading him like a book.
I gotta say as well, I was
He's
gonna
already
mention,
read the script.
Proper Happy is a career hit scan player. Proper's a flex DPS. He's actually a hyper flex because he plays the Tracer, the Genji, a lot of projectile heroes, but then also he's got the Twitter and the Sojin, and he can play hit scan with the best of them currently. The capture's there.
Can. Gets the final tap there on the shoe, doesn't get the kill. Push on the corner. Near miss, almost gets the punish on the Happy once again, but yeah, I mean, he just knew exactly where that leap was going to come through. I mean, you say career hit scan player for Happy, and that certainly is the case now, but when this man debuted back in 2018, it was the Widowmaker for him. Time and time again, that was the bread and butter. It was him, the likes of Ons going back and forth, bringing out the Widow, trying to see who could be the best Korean contenders. And yeah, he gets the dink. Kalush just falls, Cute finding that elimination, so that will maybe slow up the shock a little bit. But given that the cart is still so far away from the Glads, they keep inching forward.
I think Glads are happy to get that kill to Kalush, because otherwise Space had to back on out. That would have slowed down the Glads significantly in terms of spacing here. As we do look towards some interesting offense coming online, but for the Fluxes as well. First sites available on both sides. Proper would have to kind of go first, Happy to respond straight away.
Yeah, site for site. It's all about who can surprise the other with the peak. Barrier's there to block, goes up into the air, the Flux comes through. Violet's going to be taken down, Shu getting the better of him. As Kevster also up to the overclock, gets the headshot through onto Kilo, gets spin as well. And they have to clean up is looking damn good. Like you said, the Transcendence, it keeps them alive through the Flux, but it doesn't do much else on the back end. Space cleans up too, and that's the wipe.
It's the double hit scans, man. It's the fact that you got all these one-shots in the game, and the Transcendence is like, you might be able to heal for hundreds of healing per second, but it does nothing versus the one-shot headshots coming on through. Shock at least have spent more than Glads, so well, actually that's bad for the Shock. They lose and they spend more than Glads, so yeah, scratch that point. Glads, that means Glads are winning even harder currently on this defense. Extremely happy with that outcome.
Window comes out, Immortality Field immediately forced by Violet, but as that falls, so too does he. Shoot does get traded out proper. We'll find a little bit of revenge, but then Kalush ends up crumbling, having a quick shot on the Kilo. Gorgeous shot from him, looks for a little bit more. Pressure is applied, and Proper's got nowhere to go, so he will get taken out. And that's the overclock now expended as well, so Shock have used all of their ultimates and hasn't gotten them any distance. It was the neutral fight that got them to the point that they're at. Now the cart is going to be rolling back.
Glads happy to take forward space as well. I mean, they'll obviously back up a little bit here, play a little bit more towards the high ground. Payload sliding back down the hill as well, which is not great for the Shock. Means that it could be a two-fight situation for them where they have to win two to actually get the cap on B. Not what they want. Space is far closer to the next Gravitic Flux than Kaluja's. At least Violet's looking towards the Ant Matrix. It's the only silver lining for the Shock. Unless Proper can find a shot. He's looking for it.
Yep. Gonna swing in the corner. To breathe a sigh of relief that his head is still on his shoulders there. And Space is built up another Flux. Gets stunned out of it though. Beautiful accretion. Yep. Kaluj nails him there. Proper though. Okay, trying to see where the hell that was happening. Looks like it was a staircase. Kevster just pushed over to contest him. Finds that kill. Shu, however, does get taken down. Kilo finding one, pushes up, finds Happy. Transcendence keeps the rest of the team alive for the moment. He needs to find a rail headshot, but actually Kevster goes down into the disrupting shot. Is greeted with death. Slide well into the back of the point now, and the cleanup continues to be found. Kaluj really the only casualty as Proper rejoins. That will be point B taken by the Shock, but Time Bank drained down considerably given the ease that they took A with.
What is that, like a 4K for Kilo? Did you see the fadeaway disruptor shot for Kipster as well? Didn't even have to look. Cool guys don't look at disruptor kills, says Kilo, as he just walks away from that one and plans a rail and a couple of other members. Saves the day when Proper goes down. Kilo steps up, 4v5, and the Shock still come out alive. Just under 3 minutes now to take the C. Proper does not respond to the imprecise, so it looks like Shock will want to wait this one out. Yeah, there it is now.
Okay, now he's going to use it. So once Happy's expires, they'll have about 4 seconds at the back end of having those infrasites up for themselves. Now, then inching forward, Happy grapples across, Proper trying to go for that predicted shot, but just can't quite nail it. If he had, it would have been absolutely wild.
Oh, Space!
More though, onto Space, and he's got to tuck away around the corner. The heals still have to come through. Shoot's going to be popping that window to try to keep everybody protected. In the meantime, Kevster with that overclock pop will find the first kill on the Kilo, gets spin to boot. Slide up over the top, looking for a little bit more, and Violet, you've got really nowhere to go. He's going to try to out-duke him, but duel him, really, but I was going to say juke him, duel him, so duke him, there you go. But it doesn't work in the end.
Yeah, Duke him. That Duke in there is happy. Also, by the way, took down Proper, who went for a flank there, so when Gipster rolls up with the overclock, Proper goes on the outside. Speaking of going around the outside, Shocker trying to get past Space here, who holds the Gravitic Flux. Last two Gravitic Fluxes did not go well. He had that shut down by Kaluja's accretion. Happy with a great shot to Kilo. That'll put Shock back in the spawn.
Oh, and everybody's just so far forward. I mean, Immortality Field used right in front of the spawn doors just to try to keep everybody alive. Space stunned up for a brief little moment, but still trying to break out of this position is so damn challenging. Accretion stunned out on Kaluja, taking to about half. Overclock gets popped. Kilo trying to hound down Shu, and with Kaluja coming in from the flank, there's nothing really that he can do, so he will end up falling, but this is still totally fine for the side of the Gladiators. They don't commit much of anything to that defense.
I'll tell you what, though.
Still going to be able to recontest.
Positioning is going to be a little bit bad for the Gladiators, because when you look at the payload, it's going to go past that window. So pool control, no longer a priority. Definitely not for the Shock. They're focused on the low ground here. Gladiators will at least have that spawn high ground to play through. But the rest of the Gladiators' positioning has to be up front here. Space taking a ton of damage again.
Still do have that Immortality Field as Kempster tries to apply some pressure here into the back line. Immortality Field out from Violet proper, having swapped over the Tracer Keys on top of Shu, and the cleanup is coming through. So Shock, yeah, they're playing this to a T. Straight back over onto the cart. I guess, yeah, playing off of the poor positioning here from the Glads, and that will be the cap. So 33 seconds remaining. Not the strongest time bank for them, considering what we just saw from them yesterday, but they still do get to the end of Circuit Royale.
I mean, the ultimates were there for the Gladiators, but the positioning was not. Shock had full control of everything. They were pushing down lane. They actually started taking some windows on, but we saw towards the end there, you know, Proper flanking around, Kilo playing a bit of high ground. The LA Gladiators failed to make any trades happen, and none of their ults really connect well. I think Skewed even held on to Trance for a while. Members of his team were dying, and Trance did not come through until the end. So for all of the difficulty that was B, C had a minor slowdown, 33 seconds on the board for Shock. I think they'll be okay with that one. Not the most amazing time, but it is completion. Now Proper gets to be the defensive winner, make it happy on the offense to see how this duel goes once more. This is what's going to set the early stage of the skirmishes before any ultimates become a factor.
Something sad and morbid about that image of just the lone duck floating in the pool. Nothing else around. No people.
Which again, I remind people, is like 3 inches deep, that pool. If even that.
Yeah. It's just an ankle pool. I guess that's what fancy rich socialites like. But
an ankle pool, but you'd probably still dress in like full, I don't know, like pool wear, beach wear.
Yeah.
For an ankle deep pool, probably.
So, a Gucci or Prada bathing suit.
If you actually got on that ducky, the ducky
in.
would instantly be scraping the bottom of that pool, just hitting the ground. Yep. Happy's taking some good angles here.
Shock.
As I mean, Shock actually lose a bit of. It's Kaluj up the front, pick up the shields, but Shock are happy to just play around the corner. Skew takes a big shot there, but lives.
So does Kilo. Very much the same. Can't get the final blow, but it is still the Shock widely pulling back. The Gladiators behind Space, able to advance forward here to the corner. Jump up over the top. Happy turning. Trying to deny the headshot as best as possible.
He's happy that's Kilo and not Proper.
Yeah, exactly. I was about to say. Not as much of a concern. Proper, like right here on the low ground, so cutting his way up the staircase, looking for an angle. Maybe a pop shot.
Look at the payload.
Anticipated.
Shock have lost so much space. Don't to the final corner. They have no more cover to play through. They've lost way too much space here. Kaluj is quick into the gravitic flux, but the payload is shoved in. Look how free the Gladiators are in terms of angles.
Okay, Kilo does find an opener though. Skewed going to be taken down. Shu now the one responsible for the heals and the Immortality Field to keep them alive for a little bit longer, but then gets the headshot. Kempster gone, and now the Shock can go ahead and reclaim some space.
What awaits us?
Speak from Kilo again, bailing out the team.
Intended.
It's the thing is like, Shock were in a really tough spot there. If Kilo doesn't frag, if Proper somebody doesn't frag, that would be a very difficult situation to recover from. I mean, we'd definitely see ultimates. It's just Glads have so much more room to play through to dodge those ultimates no matter which way you cut it. Now Shock gets to play for this first opening bridgeway choke and corner. The entire hairpin available.
Flux is held, windows at the ready, skewed, needing to
back out again.
Transcendence charge. Ooh, rail shot takes Proper down to 51. Flux comes in from Kaluj, Kevster and Shu taken out. It's gonna be yet another victorious fight. Shock is shoving him back, Space has got nowhere to go.
I mean, I guess the one good thing for the Shock here is that, you know, they have won 2 successful fights now. One of them was Kilo really pulling out some numbers, and this one here, they sort of pull back. Glads come on in. Glads with a greater positioning, but Shock just pull the ultimates first. Kaluj gets that Flux through. A lot of drops on that Matrix. More value than, unfortunately, what Shu had. And the Glads now lose a lot of time off the back of losing those 2 critical fights. I mean, up until that point, they were looking fine. 1 minute 10 now. As it's 2 to 3 ultimates. Flux are probably just Kaluj on the back line.
What a juxtaposition compared to how this thing started. Glads were just sailing, but now they're very much hard locked in position. Finn pops the Transcends to keep everybody alive. Violent not really receiving too much of that. Scoot's gonna have to follow up Trent. Proper
1 HP!
Back. 1 HP! Literal 1 HP. Heal this man. Finn, give him an orb. He finally does so. Space, low HP, and there's the headshot to get the finisher. Trade out now on those Sigmas. Kilo has the overclock rolling. Everybody trying to stay safe, but Happy's gonna get clipped. Mid-grapple. Proper with a huge shot. They turn the tide of the fight. Proper does get taken down now. Kilo falling as well.
Kilo
no
shut
damage
down.
dealers
He's
here.
ulted.
Kaluj still trying to rejoin. Finn's gonna be taken out. Kevster just goes in with the overclock and says, hey, yeah, I'll just get us through to A. But now 2.5 minutes gonna be added to the time bank. This was looking like a full hold for a damn long while, but does fall apart here at the very end.
Kevster just wills his way through that 8 point, allows the Glads to push further in. And Kilo got shoved down there by Kevster as well. Both of our Sojourn players popped the overclock at the same time. But Kilo had no opportunity to even land a single shot, let alone fire a single shot, nothing. Kevster saves the day there. Shock though, they did pull it through the OT, so Glads have no time. And by the way, Glads still got to finish this map. It's going to be a tall order. As soon as Kaluj has his next Flux, the impetus to go.
Yeah, granted it is Esports, so finishing the map at all does allow them to get the extra innings, but as you say, it's just going to be, I mean, it looks to be so difficult for them, considering that they still have to round this final corner, finish getting up the hill, then go for the cap. You're taking a nasty hit, it's going to be finished off Proper, gets him a body shot.
It's 45.
Yep, and now that he's gone, not that he had the Transcendence anyway, the Flux will come out, chunks him down, Immortality Field still needs to be dealt with, but they actually shift away from it with the Accretion hit. That will be the finisher. Slide forward from Kilo, just looking to get the finish on the Happy, and he will.
I mean, that's just optimistic for the Glads, right? They take a lot of these 4v5 rather situations, and not only do they have less numbers, but I think they have the less ultimates there as well. I don't think that Space could really respond to Kaluj's Flux, which by the way finds 3. Gigantic Gravitic Flux there by Kaluj. The Shock will happily take that fight away, on top of then also receiving Shu's and Matrix, which is no longer there.
Look how much space the Shock are trying to take for themselves. Granted, they are going to get caught.
Proper! He killed somebody with his Flux!
He gets him mid-Flux! He gets the punish. It's a 1-for-1, but the damage for a support, and you definitely take that trade up here if you're the Shock, considering that Kilo is alive and nearly has an overclock. Goes low, slides back, gets himself out to safety, puts a little bit more damage down onto Space. As the Glads, they have to wait for Skew to rejoin.
Time is a major factor here. And again, it's not just about B. How do the Glads get through C when they're going to be forced into OT? This is guaranteed to be the OT for this cap itself. Kevster has another overclock and he saved the day. Proper's on 1. They need to get him down. He survives on 1 again.
Okay, the trance is popped, and Proper's not sitting in it. He's still playing back along the sidelines. Overclock from Kevster, trying to get some line of sight. It's actually going to be the nade that finishes off Finn. Kilo will find 1 though. Again, damage for support trade. This time you favor the side of the Glads, see if they can continue the push. Jump up into the high ground, or into the air rather. Shu does beam down Kaluj, finds a kill, breaking out the front line. Space will get violent, Kilo dead. And Proper grapples for it in desperation to try to keep the card contested, but just gives his life over. So it's now 1 minute 25 seconds for this final stretch of the map. The Glads need to get to the end.
It's an OT push, right? Kaluj going down there, Space and Skew in the frag, Space alive and Kaluj is down. Gigantic advantage for the Glads. And by the way, Proper being on 1 HP the whole time, doesn't get healed, didn't go in the trance, no one gave him any sort of healing. That affects Proper's ability to actually take angles and go for the fight. I mean, he's basically effectively dead if he can't really see anybody because he can't walk out. All right, well, Space was just getting accretion through on the Kilo.
All right.
That's a happy kill. No pun intended.
A quick little elim for him. Cart now rounding the final corners. So time-wise, Vlad's doing their best. Proper looks to shut down. Kevster now eliminated. 38 seconds remaining. That can be maybe the death knell here for the Gladiators. Very well aware of each other's positioning here. The
time.
Spears flying up, trying to hit Proper. Of course, position, he's going to reroute.
I think it was obvious, but we knew Glads weren't going to reach the 33 of the San Francisco Shock. Now the question is, can they cap that? All the good news is the payload is in position. One fight is what it's going to come down to. Fluxes will be traded here. Kaluj still yet to go with a nice creation will shut down space.
Kaluj now. Something, but Immortality Field keeps them alive. Those get traded out on either side. The cart contested. Space holding that for now. Taking an absolute beating though, and Kaluj will finish him off. Finn gets the headshot on the Kevster, and that should just be in. Skewed only able to answer back one. And the San Francisco Shock will successfully defend in front of point C. And once again, gain the lead. Now 2-1 in the series. Match point is theirs.
And just a much better 8-point defense. The fact that the Shock took Gladiators to OT twice, if it wasn't for Kevster enforcing his will upon the game to overclock through, take down the Shock almost single-handedly on A, we don't even know that Gladiators would have capped A. B was still a struggle. That was OT as well. There was no time remaining, 1:30. And I think that where you got to give some credit for Glads is like, okay, well, on 1:30, they actually still pushed the end, still took it within a single fight that maybe Glads could still finish the map. The Shock had the ultimate, Kaluj shut down Space's Gravitic Flux, Violet had an Ant Matrix, and that final ultimate seals the deal.
In their hands now is this series. The San Francisco Shock just need to close out one more map. Push will be the decider to see whether or not they take this one. A 3-1 scoreline, much like we saw versus the Dragons just yesterday, or if the Glads will be able to extend this into a map 5 set. Take it the distance to try to keep themselves alive and knock out the two-time champions of the Shock. That's going to continue in just a little bit. Do not go anywhere. It's been a wild ride so far. We can expect that it's going to be very much the same on Push. So stay tuned. We'll come back at you in just a few.
Here's the San Francisco Shock. Happy enough to get his hand. Oh, you're kidding!
Look at this guy go. 5 kills, just like that, a blink of an eye, quick team kill. This guy's just, he's a freak on the sticks, man. Sam on this Echo, already picking up 2 kills. The San Francisco Shock, that was their key to victory there. Aggressive baby, 1 reset, 2. Proper dashes through them all. Proper, almost ghost dashing through them. San Francisco Shock win that fight.
Heads connected, the Nano's there, trying to keep him alive, but there comes the, oh,
Matrix!
Oh, Kalush!
Finn, the deadly flex support.
Be nanos for both teams. So that'll be a hit on it.
You're kidding me!
Nice. That is unreal there from Finn.
The San Francisco Shock continue their conquering of the Overwatch League.
Definitely history once again here for the Shock.
And we are back. The San Francisco Shock, they have the lead now 2-1. They can close this series out if they can pick up a win on push. But first, before we get into what could be the final map, we'll take a look at Kalush, who went back over to the Sigma as anticipated on Circuit Royale and continues to look absolutely phenomenal.
Yeah, I mean, stat-wise, it's pretty standard and pretty normal for a Sigma player to have the highest damage in the lobby, but he had 36% of his entire team's damage, 16,287. If you're curious about the other team, Space was on 14,831, which accounts for 34% of the Gladiator's total damage there. But, you know, a lot of accretion hits as well, 18 accretion stuns, at least 2 of which actually canceled Space's ultimates there. Space had 17 accretion stuns. The stats weren't like as crazy gap. I mean, I think a 2,000 damage difference is pretty significant. Kalush was also, I think, the only player that hit 10,000 damage per 10 or above 10,000 damage per 10. I think that was pretty cool to see. But generally speaking, you know, when we talk about Sigma players, we talk about Kalush, when we talk about Circuit Royale, we talk about one of San Francisco Shock's best maps.
We do. Now the Glads, they have their pick of the litter, well, the very small litter, I suppose, when it comes down to the push map, to see where they want to go.
Yep.
To try to keep themselves in this series. It is everything to play for as the final teams will go, or the final players will go ahead and sit back down on the stage. You can see there's going to be some resubs coming through as Space is out, Reiner is back in, as well as Funny Astro making his way onto the stage.
Kilo would be out as well for Striker. You have to imagine full push. I gotta say, you know, we've seen Kilo come in twice, and both times he drops in on the Sojin. Very impressive. For a player that was essentially had his role taken over, right? When Strike was re-added back in the team, Proper takes a Sojin off of Kilo. I think they were struggling a little bit back then, but re-adding Kilo now back into the starting lineup, allowing him to get back on the Sojin, I think 2 series in a row, he's kind of proved his value, proved his worth. And also him being able to play that allows Proper to be the one to actually go over towards the Widowmaker. And now I think I get a bit more of a grasp on how that dynamic works, because yesterday I said, okay, if it's Kilo Proper, then surely it's Kilo Widowmaker and Proper Sojin, right? Because Proper's currently the Sojin play for the team. However, when you look at Circuit Royale, the Widowmaker is expected to flex onto a couple other heroes, especially when we get to the C point. It's very normal for a Widowmaker player to get off the Widow, move on to, previously it would have been a Genji, but on the current patch with Genji is nerfed, Proper decides to go on a Tracer. He actually did find value on that Tracer as well, on that C point attack that eventually landed into a full map completion. But, you know, as we're waiting for Kilo, as we're waiting for Striker rather to come up to the stage and jump in, just want to talk about that Proper versus Happy battle again, because that was such an entertaining battle. And not only did Kalush play super well in the Sigma, but Proper actually stat-wise, I think we saw it from the eye test as well, a couple of times he outdealed Happy. It was 10 final blows to Happy's 8, with about 900 more damage done, 7,300 to Happy's 6,400, and also 10% better scoped critical hit accuracy, 34% to Happy's 24. And the reason why this is significant, why I'm bringing it up, is, again, Happy's a career hit scan player. This is his specialty. And he's also one of the best Widowmakers we've had in the course of the league. Proper's a rookie. He's a Hyperflex player who normally plays Tracer, who normally plays heroes like Genji. But he also has this extra hit scan hero pool that a lot of people do not know about. And now you're learning about it. That's what really makes him a hyperflex. When I use that term, I don't use it lightly. You have to be able to flex between multiple different roles, multiple different aiming styles, mechanics, and heroes that are completely separate to the others. I mean, you haven't even seen proper on an Echo yet. There was an Echo meta in Contenders that he was the best at as well. It's actually unreal.
Yeah, it's just absolutely insane play from him. And, you know, we're talking about at the top of the day, an incredibly well-deserved role star for him here in his rookie season, because he has been that impactful. He has been that important for the Shock's successes. And he's been taking down veterans left, right, and center. You know, we mentioned Lib. He bigged him up. And he said, yeah, Lib, you are the best Sojourn in the world. And I do happen to agree with Proper, but he was able to get the better of him in crucial moments yesterday, which allowed them to knock out the Shanghai Dragons, I should say. Knock out the San Francisco Shock. They knocked themselves out. And here we go. Glads with the map pick. Seeming like maybe they saw some weaknesses on Esperanza yesterday from the Shock. They're going to look to take advantage of them.
And taking a look at the results in Esperanza so far, Shock did beat Houston on it again by 0.01 meters because they just managed to get that cap as the OT hit. Gladiators as well, they actually got a full map completion versus the Philly Fusion, which at the time was the only, at first and only, Esperanza full map completion until the Mayhem then did it as well versus the Atlanta Reign a little bit later in the same day. But the point still stands. Both teams feel good about this. Gladiators obviously feel super confident about this map. San Francisco Shock as well took down the Dragons 92 meters to 63. So a lot of wins here, a lot of comfort, a lot of confidence for Esperanza on both ends.
We'll see if that confidence is misplaced or if they will be able to show a very strong look here on the map. About 20 seconds for the teams to go ahead and assemble their lineups. Kevster showing us some, but don't think that one's going to be sticking through. As there we go. That looks a bit more normal. The full mirror, it's all going to come down to execution and play. Both teams going a bit blow for blow. You want to get the 5, needs to happen again. Glads looking to tie it up at 2-2.
We're back to normalcy here. We're back to playing meta. Small little excursion away from the Winston Reaper, Rico Lucio kind of look. Both teams will arrive at the midpoint in time. It's Gladiators, so they have an extra little cubby hole to play with. Popper's already on 100 energy charge here. Let's see if he finds that rail.
Just waiting for a target, but now he's going to have that decay down. It's a little bit of a back. The bot is going to be held in a neutral spot. It's Proper going on a bit of a walkabout. Comes around the flank, spots shoot for a moment, but Happy finds Violet. Gets that shot across. Shades of King's Row right off the rip. Happy now up above them on this high ground. Proper and Kalush all going to fall. Final headshot through to the striker for the extended team kill, and Glads will get the push first and foremost. I can talk.
Yeah, Proper had the 100 charge there, but couldn't find the shot. Goes on the flank, loses a bit of that rail charge. Ends up having to just shoot shields. Happy will get that opening frag. Be ahead on the overclock. San Francisco Shock will obviously have to come back in for a final contest, but if Glads win this fight, they do cap the checkpoint.
See, you know, how much those advantages can spiral out of control through all of the push maps that we've seen throughout the season, or just yesterday.
Oh,
Shock
man,
really spiraling against the Dragons, but okay, a 1-for-1 is both the Kitikos going to be taken down by the respective Sojourns. Reiner is, however, also going to be traded out. Kevster now dead. Proper looking alive, looking well. Leads up, 3 in the fight, and that's going to be the bot in control of the Shock. They stop the cap from coming through.
You know, it's been Happy for most of the openings of Esperanza in the first 2 minutes, but then Proper arrives, and when he does, makes his presence heard and known. You see Finn is coming through very far away. And we'll have the Swift Step there, available, ready. It won't be a flip of the cap just yet. Still a fight to go through, and Shock 40 meters off the back of that one. Double Kitsune rushes now.
Okay, rushes out, beats now dropped on either side. Reiner going low, still holds on to the primal. in his back pocket just in case. Overclock now going to be popped proper. Looking for Happy. Can't quite nail him down. He goes sliding over to the flank. Instead turns his sights over to Ryder and he takes him low. The bot still going to be pushing forward here for the shot. Death Blossom out from Kempster. Looking for some kills with a bubble from Kalush. Mitigates a hell of a lot of damage. He and Proper still going to be tagged low. Kempster trying to get on top of them to get some kills, but instead, the Glads, they will steal the bot away. Now they can ship this back in the Shock. Need to try to find a way back through. Happy going to be picked off. That could be the opening that they're looking for. Great headshot from him. Striker now holding on to a Death Blossom of his own should he need it, but it seems like he won't. Proper finds the kill. Astro dead. Reiner, the healing throughput from Shu on the Kiriko is just not enough. The bot is right back into the hands of the Shock.
Yeah, and that would have been a very different fight if Proper doesn't get the kill to Happy. The 5v4 is really backbreaking for the LA Gladiators. As they just roll up, they allow no one to run away, no escape from the Shock as they reach towards looking at this flip. They still need to win another fight though. This has been slow innings. They'll not only get the flip, but they'll get the cap here as well. So Glads, one more opportunity. By the way, Shu, slightly behind Finn here for the ult.
That he is. Finn now has it online, can drop it at a moment's notice, but Violet gonna get dropped actually. Happy finds yet another headshot to try to open it up. The rush does come through. It does allow them to gain a little bit of distance here and force back the members of the Glads as Reiner takes a beating. Jumps over, gets top back up. Shu with a rush of his own, forces the Shock to retreat. Now within 7 meters. Just have to wait this one out and try to regain control.
Yeah, but DPS ultimates are online, right? And I think the damage done to Reiner stops the Glads from chasing. Shu had them late to continue to rush and Happy will get the kill instantly traded.
Yep, they push him. He's trying to leap out the safety, and they deny that exit. Proper gets the headshot, the turnaround from Shock.
9
It's
HP.
absolutely gorgeous. Proper on 9 HP. I mean, that's all right. He's got 9 times more health than he had before on circuit, but Happy will go ahead and spray him down. That's going to be the damage dealers now taken care of. Happy looking to push up against the tank, against Violet here. His number he has had. He's trying to track him down. Doesn't have the rail shot quite just yet, but he's in behind the Lucio, and there's nowhere for Violet to go. The cleanup comes in now within 2 meters, but crucially the Shock, they do not manage to take the lead.
Let's take a look at this Happy shot again. Proper's on 9 HP, he'll just do a bit of spamming. This is what the double kill. Striker TP's in front of him. Yeah, you want to do a little bit better than that, Striker. Not the best showing in terms of that specific movement. Now Happy pulls through the overclock, and by the way, I was going to say Proper being on 9 HP absolutely was a difference maker because he could not afford to die there. 4v5 here, Striker gets the kill.
And Reiner answers back. The Proper, and now, but the damage dealer's gone. Funny Astro can't drop the beat fast enough to try to keep them in this fight. Violet, however, does get traded out. Reiner finding that kill. Bot for now. Start moving forward here for the Shock. Closer towards their side of the map, so they should have the reinforcements a little bit faster here. Glads can just go ahead, swing around the opposite side.
Shock can still ult
this pillar and get ready to catch the bot.
The Shock needs to, because Proper's held on to this overclock for far too long now. I think Happy's ahead by a whole ultimate at this stage. I mean, it's only about 2, 3, 4 meters is the difference between these two teams. Both will have the Kitsune rush now available as well, but Shock got to get some move on.
A little more and we have the lead.
Jump in, they're looking for Proper. He'll move over to the high ground. Rush comes out from Shu, Finn matches.
Glads are on their own side.
Away once more. Yes, they are. Gets shipped to the opposite side. Ryder now comes diving in. He gets the bot moments before he would go over the line to give them the lead, but Proper gets the shot. Shu going to be taken down. The beat is there from Violet to keep everybody protected. Happy still able to find one. Striker dead, but now Happy eliminated. Proper takes his head clean off. Ryder does not stand a chance. The cleanup is there. Shock now in control.
Yeah, they have the lead, they have the cap there as well. Proper gets the most important kill. He gets Happy down because if Happy is alive, there is still a chance for the Glads. You know Happy can clutch up. You know Happy can maybe turn it around. Close to the overclock as well. The San Francisco Shock will confirm the capture with 3:30 left to go. Every meter now for the Shock counts. In fact, if Shock get another fight win, they can take the map off that distance.
They absolutely can. Glads need to wrest control away here. Win the follow-up 2 fights to be able to regain the lead. They still have to go through the checkpoint. They still have to wait out the bottom. This little break. Jump into the back. Kalush goes low. Primal does get popped.
Shut down.
Taken down. Proper finds him, and that's the overclock taken out of the equation. Death Blossom from Striker finds 2. Shu and Kempster eliminated. The cleanup continues. The bot will continue to push. Shock.
This is 80
stretching their lead significantly.
If they get to 90 here, this is going to be very difficult for the LA Gladiators. They still have to take back control of the robot first. Striker now, let's take a look at this Death Blossom. Will just barely clip Shu. I mean, Shu, I think, must have been on the very edge of the range of Death Blossom. Happy finds Finn, so that will be a nice early opening for the Gladiators.
There's one, but Astro is traded. That's the barrier now taken out. 3v3, go blow for blow here, but it is going to be, the three-man trade up for the side of the Glads. They should be okay to gain control, but Kalush finds two, will end up falling, but he buys more time.
220 rather, to get about 41 meters. Like I said, for Shock, if they won one more fight there, and they did, they would get 90, and at 90, they have a win condition unlocked. That is going to be quite some distance for Glads to try and catch up on. You can see the San Francisco Shock have the full wave of the forward respawns as well. And we're right back into mid, we're right back in the neutral, except there's a lot of ultimates in play.
They do get it far enough to deny the forward spawns. Proper again getting dove on. He's going to try to dive in. On top of Happy, but the sound barrier comes in. They keep him protected. Finally goes the match. Kalush down below half HP. Reiner still very healthy. Still
he wants
Primal. They're looking to peel. They dive into the back. Happy gets violent once again. And Reiner will not be denied. The Primal cleaves Proper to the floor. Kalush will be the last one to fall. Glads now get the checkpoint.
Go get your mans, Reiner. That was so well played. Double kill the Primal, finds Proper, excellent juggles, removes him from the fight entirely. And that's what Gladiators need to do. They got to keep shutting down Proper. Reiner's doing his job very, very well currently. There's still a 32-meter gap here. Glads need a little bit more. They have the cap now. That's step one. Another fight requires 70 meters, one fight winner. They think they can equalize off the back of that. It's within the correct margins, but look at the time, 1 minute left.
Minute remaining, the rush coming in, Shoot does not have anything to answer with, nor does Funny Astro, so the Glads just have to pull away. 19 meters shy of being able to pick up the lead for themselves, and Kevster goes down, and that is crucial. Overclock is popped, not needed in the commitment given the exit that the Glads were going through, so Proper will lose out on the ultimate, not find too much value from it, but the bot distance right now, that is nothing but value for the Shock.
And that's the thing, right, because now that they have this sort of lead back again, and they are pushing in, Kevster shut down, my God, Proper!
He thinks that he has the moment, he sees that they're pushing up onto the high ground, he pulls the trigger, and he gets met with death. The Blossom backfires, and the Shock again are storming their way. They have the forward spawns. It's 15 seconds left. Reiner dead. Shoe, Funny Astro, they need their ults right here, right now, if they want to buy enough time to stay in this one. And even then, it would be a miraculous run back. The Shock are just moments away from closing this out.
TP, the TP.
Home. TP forward, they get the bot. The contest is there from Kevster. Nade buys a little bit of space, a little bit of time. Striker
Shoe needs to salt
in hand. Violet, the beat, nearly there. Shoe, a percentage away. The Blossom gets dropped. Happy gonna be taken down. Proper finds the headshot. The beat is there from Violet. The match, Funny Astros. Reiner getting ripped apart. Down about half HP. He will stay alive for the moment. But all the damage onus is on Kevster right now. Happy looks to rejoin. The bot contested Proper, the rail built up, pushes the corner, and Kevster's got nowhere to go. They find him, Shoe gets domed, and that is gonna be it. They clean him up, they shut him down. 3-1, the San Francisco Shock will be victorious over the Gladiators once again.
What a finish, what an ending. The Shock will not be denied. Proper's run in the playoffs will not be denied. The LA Gladiators, the most successful team of 2022 in the first half of the year, but the second half of the season has gone awry. Summer Showdown did not make the tournament. Countdown Cup at least was a 6-0, but no tournament there because we go straight to the playoffs, and in playoffs, the San Francisco Shock, they might be in the lower bracket, but right now they are the team to beat. They are the kings of the lower bracket, and everyone needs to fear this team. Some great sportsmanship being shown there as well. Happy and Proper, Kevster in there. The respect being shown. And it's the Glads, the third seed being taken out. We already knew that the Glads looked a little weaker coming into this playoffs. I felt like they should have been much stronger, given the roster quality, given how strong they were in Countdown Cup as well. But in the very early matches that we saw straight away on day 2, losing to London Spitfire, and that's taking nothing away from London, who are fantastic so far in this tournament, in this playoffs. Gladiators look lost. They bounced back versus Philly, but that's going to be their only win so far in the postseason. And the Shock continue through. They will face the loser of Dallas versus Seoul.
Which is an absolutely wild series in its own right, and still an incredibly tough opponent ahead of them, but they do stay alive. We'll go ahead and see that man right there on your screen before we shift over to Striker. Our player of the match is in fact proper because, I mean, especially here on Esperanza, he was able to bring it back. Some weak moments there on King's Row in particular, but every other map, the ones that Shock were able to win,
yep,
he was just instrumental. He was a monster.
Achilleos, take a propaganda, this proper propaganda. Maybe the best player in the world. MVP candidate for
You've had
sure.
that one
I don't
banked.
know. I have. You better believe it. And I'll be straight with you. It's the last cast. He's the player of the match. I've been waiting for it. It's unlocked. The Widowmaker, impressive. Outdueled Happy. Sojin, impressive. Happy had King's Row. The proper had the other maps locked down. It's the flexibility for me. It's the mechanical ability for me. It's just about everything. And we'll find out on Friday. Is he the MVP? Is it somebody else? Definitely a role star. Extremely high likelihood of Rookie of the Year. Might as well just give Coach of the Year the proper resolve. I don't know. Just give him everything.
It is all of the accolades. He's just Prophet now. He does everything. We did see the coach diff actually dropped in the chat back there by Violet at the very end of it all. But
a little bit of, we had a bit of trash talk in the middle of that. You know, the Glad's coaching staff dropped a bit of specific flame towards Violet. I think Glad's coach said, yeah, peak open angles more, Violet was something along the lines. And then Violet clashed back on Esperanza, says Coach Diff. So he got his revenge. Shock got their revenge. And now we have Glad's unfortunately gone, but the Shock continues, and it's more, I think, heartbreak, right? Because these are some of our favorite teams. These are some of our best teams. Glad's losing. Shanghai got it. Atlanta even gone. I mean, Atlanta are meant to be the lower bracket demons, but they're done for. Toronto had a great showing versus the Spark. And now we get to see Florida versus the Hangzhou Spark. I don't know what to officially even call that matchup. The Pink Ball, Playoffs Pink, I don't know what it is. Yeah. But I'm not going to lie to you, I thoroughly enjoyed this Glad Shock game. This one was very entertaining to watch. A lot of high mechanics being shown, a lot of close gameplay.
Yeah, I mean, it's very similar to what we saw yesterday from the Shanghai Dragons versus the Shock. You know, another 3-1 record, Shock walking away victorious, but all 4 maps played exhilarating and fantastic to watch. It's been a pleasure to bring you guys this series, the whole way throughout. Yeah. But this is unfortunately the end of the line for myself and Avril, as we will call it quits here on the season. But we will meet again. Don't know where, don't know when, but we will see you guys in the future. That's for damn certain. But enjoy the rest of the playoffs. We'll see you on the other side.
The Overwatch League is brought to you by Butterfinger. Crispity, crunchity, peanut buttery. No one lays a finger on your Butterfinger.
What's up, everybody? Welcome to Game Break. Danny Lim here, joined by the one and only Proper from San Francisco. Shaw, Proper, big congratulations on your win against the Los Angeles Gladiators. Yes, hi. Yes, you can wait for me. 당연히 손 흔들어도 되고요. 편하게 인터뷰 즐겨주시면 감사하겠습니다. All right, so after losing to the Houston Outlaws a couple days ago, you guys have been sort of on a roll. You guys defeated two top teams now. You guys defeated the Shanghai Dragons yesterday and now the Los Angeles Gladiators. What changed for you and the team? 자, 오늘 승리를 축하드리면서 일단 첫 번째 질문은 우리 샌쇼기 이번 플레이오프에 들어오게 되면서 휴스턴한테 패배를 한 후 지금 굉장히 승승장구 중입니다. 일단 어제 상하이 드래곤즈를 이긴 후 이제 또 오늘 또 거기다 이제 글래디까지 오늘 어떻게 보면 이기시게 되셨는데요. 좀 갑자기 이렇게 좋은 모습을 좋은 기력을 이렇게 보여줄 수 있게 된 좀 이유가 있을까요?
일단 휴스턴 매치 때 저희가 좀 긴장을 해가지고 스크림 때 하던 때처럼 잘 안 돼가지고 이제 휴스턴 매치전 쉬고 다음 대회부터는 그냥 진짜 저희 생각대로 하자 이런 마인드로 해가지고 이렇게 잘 됐던 것 같아요, 다 같이.
Alright, so for the Houston match, I think the main reason why we lost was because we were super nervous. Because of that, our performance wasn't up to the level of our original, strength of how we used to play on scrims. So that's how we lost Houston. But after that match, coming in to the match, into the Shanghai Dragons match, we just sort of wanted to play how we thought or how we should play out the game. And I think that was a huge plus. And that's how we are sort of looking a lot better these days. Your team, honestly, right now, are sort of on a roll, like I said, but you specifically, Proper, have been just killing it. Our casters right now, Achilles and Avril, they praise you, of how great of a player you are on so many different heroes like Soldier and Tracer, Genji, and even today we saw how good you are on the Widow as well. So I just want to ask you, Proper, what is the secret on being so good on so many different heroes? 자, 뭐 당연히 지금 팀도 잘하는 것도 있지만 제가 봤을 땐 프로퍼 선수가 지금 현상에서 너무나도 좋은 모습을 많이 보여주고 있다고 생각을 합니다. 이제 저희 캐스터들도 당연히 프로퍼 선수가 너무나도 다양한